The stars outside the ship glowed like cold diamonds in the black sky. Commander Eli Vance stood on the bridge of his vessel, the Vanguard, watching space stretch in every direction. He had traveled far before, but this mission was different. This time, he had been summoned. "Commander, we are approaching the Thracian flagship," said Officer Mira from the control panel. Aldi Eli turned round. "Open a secure line. Let them know we're ready to dock." Mira nodded and sent the signal. The Thracians were powerful, mysterious aliens. They ruled over dozens of planets and had technology far beyond Earth's, but they were proud and silent. They never asked for help from other species, so when their queen personally sent a message asking to meet with a human, him, of all people, Leela knew something strange was going on. As the Vanguard approached the giant silver Thracian flagship, Eli saw it was shaped like a floating crown. It was both beautiful and intimidating. Docking arms reached out and locked onto his ship, gently pulling it in. "Stay alert," Eli told Mira and his small crew. This might not be a friendly visit. He stepped into the airlock, wearing his formal uniform. His heart beat a little faster than usual. The door hissed open, and he walked into the Thracian vessel. Two tall guards in black armor met him. Their eyes glowed faintly under their helmets. Without a word, they motioned for him to follow. Eli didn't speak either. He knew this was not the time for small talk. They led him through glowing halls made of crystal and metal. Strange alien symbols floated in the air, shifting and spinning. It felt like walking inside a living machine. Finally, they reached a tall door covered in moving patterns. It slid open with a soft hum. Inside was a grand throne room. At the far end, on a raised platform, sat Queen Zilithor of Thras. She was tall and elegant, wearing a flowing robe made of shimmering light. Her skin had a silver-blue glow, and her eyes were deep like oceans. Around her stood nobles, scientists, and guards, all silent. Eli stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Commander Eli Vance of Earth, at your service, Your Majesty." Queen Zilith stood and spoke in a calm, commanding voice. "You were chosen because your blood is special, Commander Vance," she said. "Now, I must speak clearly." She took one step forward. "Give me your blood, human." The room fell silent. Eli blinked. "I beg your pardon, Your Majesty." She looked directly into his eyes. "I said, give me your blood. We do not mean harm, we ask ... because we must." Eli frowned. "Why, what do you mean, my blood is special? I'm just a man." The queen raised one hand. A large screen lit up behind her, showing strange biological diagrams. A Thracian scientist stepped forward and began to speak. "For the past 50 cycles," the scientist said, "our people have been dying from a mysterious disease. Our children are born weak. Our adults fall ill. No medicine works. It is destroying our future." Eli listened carefully. The scientist continued. "Recently, our genetic researchers discovered that a small group of humans carry a protein that resists this disease. You, Commander, carry the strongest version we have ever seen. Your blood may hold the key to our survival." Eli was silent. He looked at the queen again. "You want me to ... donate blood? To create a cure, yes," she said. "But it is not so simple. The protein in your blood must be studied, copied, and maybe even transferred into others. You may need to stay here for testing. We are desperate. That is why I ask for you." Eli took a deep breath. He thought of Earth, his home, and how humans had once faced sickness only to find hope in unexpected places. "I see," he said. "But why not ask in a more polite way?" Queen Zilithor gave a small smile. "We Thracians are not used to asking, but today pride must be set aside. Our world is dying." Eli looked around the room. Some of the nobles did not look happy. One whispered to another. A guard tightened his grip on his weapon. "You should also know," the queen added. "There are those among us who do not agree with asking humans for help. They may try to stop this." Eli crossed his arms. "Then why risk calling me at all?" "Because," she said softly, "I believe your species holds more than just the cure. You hold something we have lost, hope." Eli was quiet for a moment. Then he gave a slow nod. "All right," he said. "I'll help. Take what you need, but only if it's done with respect and care. I won't be treated like a lab rat." "You have my word," said Queen Zilithor. She turned to a female guard standing nearby, Captain Scifi. "From this moment, the human is under your protection. Keep him safe. If any harm comes to him, you will answer to me." Scifi, tall and sharpened, bowed deeply. "As you command, my queen." Eli glanced at her. She looked serious and ready for anything later. In a private room made for human comfort, Eli sat on a strange soft chair. Scifi stood by the door, so he said, Do you think I'm a hero or a fool? She didn't smile, but her voice was calm. Neither. I think you are, curious, and brave. Most humans would have run. Most humans weren't called by an alien queen to save a dying empire, he replied. There was a silence between them. Outside the window, a distant star pulsed. Then Serakai spoke again. But be careful, Commander. Not everyone wants peace. Not everyone wants your help. Eli nodded slowly. I figured as much. To be continued in Part 2, The Hidden Plague. Commander Eli Vance lay on a soft medical bed inside the Thracian science chamber. Strange machines buzzed quietly around him. Their arms moved like spiders, gently taking samples of his blood. Blue light scanned his skin and bone. He didn't feel pain, but he felt watched, studied. You humans are different, said the Thracian scientist named Ural. He was tall, with pale skin and large violet eyes. Your blood carries a rare immunity. Your cells fight the plague like it's nothing. Eli raised an eyebrow. And that surprises you? Ural nodded. Yes, it surprises everyone. Just then, Captain Serakai entered the chamber. Her armor shimmered under the lights. She stood at attention but glanced at Eli to check on him. You are not a prisoner, she said calmly. But you should not walk the ship alone. Some do not trust you. Eli sat up. Yeah, I noticed the glares. I'm guessing not all Thracians are fans of humans. No, Serakai replied. Some believe your kind is weak, chaotic. But now, you are their only hope. Ural turned off the machine and handed a glowing data crystal to a younger scientist. We need time to study the blood. If we can isolate the protein, we might save the next generation. Later, Eli was taken to a high-tech lab deep inside the ship. Queen Zilitha stood there, looking at a large display of data and moving molecules. Our children are dying, she said without turning. Each year fewer are born. Those who are born are sick. Some live only days. Eli stood beside her, and my blood can stop it. We think so, she said. But it's not just your blood. It is you. Your body fights the disease at every level. It's as if you were designed to resist it. Eli frowned. Designed. The Queen looked at him. There are old stories, legends of beings who visited our world long ago. They were not Thracian. They were something else. They taught us science. Some say they shaped life itself. Eli's eyes widened slightly. Are you saying humans and Thrassians ... are related? We do not know, the Queen replied. But your blood may carry the truth. While the Queen and her scientist worked in the labs, other things stirred on the ship. In the lower decks, a group of noble Thracians gathered in secret. One of them, Lord Varnick, slammed his fist on the table. We are trusting a human to save us, he growled. This is madness. Another noble nodded. He is an outsider. What if he poisons the cure? What if he changes us forever? Varnick's eyes burned with anger. We must stop this, quietly, before the Queen makes a terrible mistake. The group agreed. A plan began to form, one that would put Eli's life in danger. That night, Eli sat alone in his chamber looking out at the stars. He missed Earth, he missed the air, the food, the sound of birds. Here, everything felt ... strange. Suddenly he heard a faint beep. The door opened. It wasn't Serakai. A masked figure stepped in, holding a sharp energy blade. The figure lunged without warning. Eli rolled to the side just in time. The blade cut into the wall with a loud hiss. He grabbed a metal tray and blocked the next attack. But he was no fighter, not like this. The figure swung again. Then, the door burst open. Serakai charged in like lightning. She blocked the attacker's blade with her own, then kicked them back. The two fought fast, a dance of sparks and speed. In a few seconds, the masked figure was on the ground, unconscious. Stood, breathing hard. I guess I'm not welcome here after all. Serakai looked at the attacker. They wore the mark of House Varnack. I feared this would happen. Eli shook his head. Why do they hate me so much? I'm trying to help. They fear change, she said. They fear your blood will not just cure the disease but change who we are. The next morning, the Queen summoned Eli again. This time, her face looked tired. We have learned more, she said. The protein in your blood does more than fight the disease. It repairs damaged genes. It makes the weak strong again. Eli nodded. Isn't that good? The Queen hesitated. Yes, but it also reshapes Thracian DNA. It changes our people. Eli frowned. How much? Not completely, she said, but enough that some call it a threat to our purity. They say it is unnatural. Eli understood. On Earth, people had feared new technology for centuries: vaccines, robots, even AI. And what do you say? He asked. The Queen looked at him. Say survival is more important than pride. In the days that followed, work continued in the lab. Scientists used Eli's blood to create a test cure. The first trials were done on sick Thracian children in medical pods. Slowly, signs of health began to return. For the first time in years, a young Thracian girl opened her eyes and smiled. Hope spread across the ship like fire. But so did fear, Lord. Varnak and his followers began to speak louder. They said Eli's blood was dangerous, that he was a weapon in disguise. They demanded the Queen stop the program, that she refused, so they turned to violence. One evening, the Queen's medical lab was bombed. Data was destroyed. Several scientists were injured. The test samples were lost. The Queen was unharmed but furious. This is war, she said. She called her generals. She sent guards to arrest Varnak's men, but the rebellion had already begun. The Thracian Empire stood at the edge of civil war, and in the center of it all stood a human commander, Eli Vance. In a hidden chamber, Ural handed Eli a small device. This is all the data we saved from the attack, he said. If something happens to us, you must take this back to Earth. It holds the key to making more of the cure. Eli looked at the device, then at Sarakai beside him. What if I stay? He asked. What if I fight for this? Sarakai looked him in the eyes. Then we fight together. To be continued in Part 3. The Genetic Truth. Commander Eli Vance stood quietly beside Sarakai in the hidden chamber. The room was dim, lit only by soft blue lights from the walls. In his hand, he held the small data crystal glowing, fragile, and priceless. It holds the only copy of the cure, Ural had said. If we fail, you must carry it back to Earth. You must not let it be lost. But Eli didn't want to run. I didn't come here just to escape when things got hard. He told Sarakai, I came to help. So if we're going to stop Varnak and save your people, I'm staying. Sarakai gave a slow nod. Then, we'll need allies, and fast. The civil conflict within the Thracian Empire was growing. News of the Queen's cure born from a human's blood had spread across the fleet. Some were amazed, some were terrified. Many feared what it meant. Human blood will change us, said one noble during a secret meeting. Our children will no longer be pure Thracian, they will be something new. Yes, replied Lord Varnak, and if we allow this, we lose what it means to be us. We must stop this madness. But the Queen had her own supporters, 2 young scientists, healers, and even soldiers. They believed that survival was more important than old ideas. And they believed in Eli. They called him the spark, the beginning of something new. Deep inside the Royal Archives, Ural and Eli worked side by side. They were studying ancient genetic records, hoping to find answers to a mystery. Eli pointed at an old symbol. You said this is from your legends, the ones about star visitors. Yes, said Ural, and look closely at this genetic pattern. It matches something found in human DNA, your DNA. Eli leaned closer. Are you saying humans and Thracians share a common origin? Ural hesitated. We don't have proof. But long ago, something or someone may have visited both our worlds. Perhaps they shaped our blood to carry a key. Eli sat back, stunned. That would explain why my blood heals your people. We were never strangers, just distant cousins. Sarakai stepped forward. If that's true, the cure is not just a cure, it's a message. Eli nodded. And some people will never accept it. Meanwhile, Queen Zilitha gathered her remaining loyal commanders. The attack on the labs had weakened her position, but she refused to step down. We do not fear change, she told them. We fear extinction. Let the others cling to the past. We will build a future. One commander asked, what of the human? Can he be trusted? Zilithor looked out the window at the stars. He gave us his blood. He asked for nothing in return. He stays even when he could leave. Yes, I trust him. Back in the lower decks, Varnak's forces made their move. Using stolen access codes, they shut down parts of the ship air systems, communication lines, energy flow. Darkness spread through the halls. It was the beginning of a silent coup. Alarms blared. The ship's lights flickered. Eli grabbed a small, handheld scanner and turned to Sarakai. They're making their move. She nodded. Then so must we. They ran through the dim corridors, past confused guards and frightened civilians. The Queen was still in her chamber, and they needed to reach her before Varnak did. Along the way, more of the Queen's loyal guards joined them. We're with you, Sarakai, said one soldier. The human too. Eli smiled briefly. Still wasn't used to being trusted by aliens. They turned a corner. An explosion rocked the floor beneath them. Dust filled the air. A large metal beam crashed down, blocking their path. We need another way, Eli said, coughing. Sarakai looked up. Follow me. She led them into an old maintenance shaft, rarely used. They crawled through narrow tunnels, climbing through wires and pipes. The noise of battle echoed around them, blaster fire, boots running, shouts in the dark. Finally, they reached the Queen's chamber. 2 guards stood outside, injured but alive. "She's inside," one said. "They tried to break in, but we held them back." Eli entered the room. Queen Zalitha stood tall, a silver energy shield glowing around her. "You made it," she said. "Barely," Eli replied. "They've taken half the ship. Then we hold the other half," she said. Firmly, he handed her the data crystal. "This has the cure. Everything we found. Ural made me promise to protect it." She held it carefully. "Then we will protect you both." That night, the Queen spoke to the entire fleet. Her image was broadcast through emergency channels. Seen by every Thracian, she stood tall in front of a glowing banner, with Eli beside her. "Our empire stands at a crossroad," she said. "We face death, not from war but from within. Our children are dying, our future fading." She looked at Eli. "But one human, from a distant world, has given us hope. His blood carries the cure, but more than that, it carries proof. Proof that we are not alone in this universe, that we are connected to others, that our history is far older than we believed." Some watching were moved, others were confused. A few were angry. "We must decide," the Queen said. "Will we choose survival and unity, or will we fall into ruin out of fear and pride?" Then she stepped aside, and Eli spoke. "I didn't come here to change you," he said. "I came to help. If my blood can save your people, I'll give it freely. But what comes next, that choice is yours." After the speech, fighting continued, but something had changed. Some of Varnak's followers began to surrender. Some of the younger rebels laid down their weapons. A small shift, but a powerful one. Even in war, truth had power. Later, in a quiet moment, Scifi stood beside Eli in the garden chamber. It was filled with strange glowing plants, the only green place on the ship. "You didn't have to stay," she said. "Why did you?" Eli looked at the stars through the glass dome. "Because I believe this isn't just your fight anymore. It's ours." She nodded slowly. "We are stronger together," she said. He smiled. "Yeah, we are." But in the shadows of the ship, Varnak was not done. His last move would be the most dangerous yet. He had found something old, something forbidden, a weapon buried in the ship's core, a relic from ancient times. And he planned to use it. To be continued in Part 4. The ancient weapon. Deep beneath the Thracian flagship, in a hidden chamber untouched for centuries, Lord Varnak stood before a massive, dark machine. Its surface was covered in glowing lines, red, sharp, and ancient. The machine hummed with quiet energy, and its center held a sphere that pulsed like a heartbeat. Beside Varnak stood 2 of his most loyal followers. "This is it," Varnak whispered. "The judgment engine." One of them hesitated. "We thought this was only a myth." Nova said. "It was sealed long ago, by the first rulers. They feared its power, but now, we have no choice." He placed a metal key into the control panel. The machine began to awaken, shaking the walls around them. "This device will not just end the rebellion," Varnak said, his voice full of pride. "It will purify our blood, remove the human stain forever." Elsewhere on the ship, Commander Eli Vance stood in the garden chamber with Scifi and Queen Zalitha. News of the Queen's speech had spread across the fleet. Resistance was weakening. More ships were turning back toward peace, but peace never came easily. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the halls. The lights dimmed to red. Soldiers ran past the garden, shouting orders. Queen Zalitha quickly activated a screen. "What is it now?" Eli asked. The screen showed a map of the ship, a deep section of the lower deck sealed for age, glowing with unstable energy. "That area," Scifi said slowly. "It was locked after the First Thracian War. It holds forbidden technology." The Queen's eyes widened. "Varnak has opened the judgment engine." Eli looked confused. "What is it?" Zilithor answered calmly, but her voice was heavy. "It is a machine built by ancient Thracians. Before we became wise, it rewrites life itself. It can destroy bloodlines. It was made to cleanse our kind of what they once called impurities." Eli's face darkened. "You mean, people like me?" "Yes," the Queen said. "And now Varnak wants to use it to erase your gift from our DNA." Scifi slammed her fist against the wall. "If he activates it, the cure will be useless. Our future will die." Eli didn't hesitate. "Then we stop him together." Eli, Scifi, and a team of elite guards rushed toward the lower decks. They moved fast through long tunnels and security gates. As they got closer to the engine chamber, the air became hot, and the lights flickered strangely. Strange energy. Waves passed through the walls. Do you feel that? Eli asked. Yes, Sarakai replied. The machine is alive. Suddenly, enemy soldiers blocked the hallway. Varnik's loyalists. Blasters were raised. A fight broke out. Moved like lightning, blocking shots and leading the charge. Eli stayed close, using a pulse rifle one of the guards gave him. The fight was fast, loud, and dangerous. Smoke filled the air. When the last enemy fell, Eli looked around. Are we close? A guard pointed forward. Just beyond that gate, inside the Judgment Engine's core room, Varnik stood before the pulsing machine. He placed his hand on a scanner. The floor rumbled. One of his followers looked nervous. Are we sure this will work? It will, Varnik said. It will remove the mutation from our species. No more human blood. No more weakness. He began the activation sequence. At that moment, the doors to the chamber blasted open. Smoke rushed in. Eli and Sarakai entered with weapons raised. Step away from the machine. Sarakai shouted. Varnok turned slowly. Too late. The machine lit up. Rings of energy spun in the air. The walls glowed red. Symbols danced in the air, ancient symbols, older than the Empire. Eli stepped forward. You don't understand. What you're doing, that machine will kill millions. Varnik's eyes were cold. They will die for purity. No, Eli said. They'll die because of your fear. Suddenly, the machine let out a loud scream like metal twisting in pain. Energy surged out in waves. Sarakai fell to one knee. Eli's vision blurred. The engine had started its final process, rewriting the Thracian genome. Queen Zalitha's voice crackled through a communicator. You must shut it down now. If it completes the cycle, our people will be lost. Eli turned to Ural, who had followed behind with tools. Can we stop it? Ural nodded, panicked. Yes, but only from inside the core. Someone has to enter the beam and disable the main node. It's dangerous, Sarakai said, regaining her balance. No one can survive that. Eli looked at his hands. Maybe I can. My body heals fast. Your scanners said my blood resists everything. Let's see if it resists this too. No, Sarakai said quickly. You're not Thracian. That energy could destroy your mind. Eli looked at her with calm eyes. It's not just about me anymore. It never was. He ran forward toward the core, dodging falling debris and sparks. Varnik shouted and tried to stop him, but Sarakai blocked his path. Your time is over, she said. They clashed blade against blade. Inside the engine, Eli stood before the pulsing beam. It felt like being inside a storm. Light and sound roared all around him, but he kept going. His body hurt, but he moved forward, step by step. He reached the core node, a bright sphere floating above a metal column. He grabbed it with both hands. The pain hit like fire, but he held on. He pulled the sphere. Free. Everything stopped. The lights dimmed. The energy waves faded. The machine went silent. Outside the core, Sarakai defeated Varnik and watched in shock as the engine began to cool down. Then she saw Eli stumble out of the beam chamber, his body weak, clothes burned, but still alive. You did it, she said, rushing to him. Eli gave a small smile. Guess human blood really is strong. Varnik was taken into custody. His rebellion had failed. Many of his followers surrendered after seeing what the Judgment Engine had almost done. Queen Zilithor held a final council meeting. She looked over her people, divided, wounded, but still standing. This human, she said, risked his life to save ours. He asked for nothing, yet he gave everything. She turned to Eli. You are not just a guest here. You are now part of our future. Eli bowed. Thank you, Your Majesty. But the future is not mine to lead. It's yours. She nodded. Then let us build it together. Later, in the garden chamber, Eli sat with Sarakai beneath the glowing trees. You nearly died, she said quietly. Yeah, he replied, but it was worth it. She looked at him with gentle eyes. You are no longer just a human to us. You are a part of our story now. Eli smiled. Maybe we were always part of the same story. We just forgot how it began. They sat together in peace for the first time in a long time. But the universe was vast. And somewhere beyond the stars, something else watched. Something old. Something that remembered. To be continued in Part 5. The First One's Return. The Thracian fleet floated in quiet space, healing after the long battle. The damage was great, but hope was stronger. Eli Vance and Queen Zalitha stood together on the command deck, looking out at the stars. Suddenly, a strange signal appeared on the scanners. It was unlike anything they had seen before, old, powerful, and full of energy. What is that? Eli asked. Ural, the Queen's chief scientist, studied the readings. It is a message from beyond our known space. From the first ones, legends whispered through generations. The original travelers, ancient beings who had shaped many worlds long ago. Some thought they were myths, but now their signal was real. The message was simple but clear. Return. We have watched it. It's time. Queen Zalitha's face grew serious. The first ones are coming back. Their arrival will change everything. Eli looked at her. Do they know about the cure? About the blood? We don't know, she said. But we must be ready. The Thracian Council was called. The leaders of every ship gathered to hear the news. Fear and excitement filled the air. Some believed the first ones would bring wisdom and peace. Others worried they would bring judgment and war. As the fleet prepared, Eli spent time with Sorokai. The two had grown close during the trials they faced. He shared stories of Earth, and she told him tales of Thracia. We have come far, Eli said one evening. Watching the stars. Yes, Sorokai replied softly. But our journey is only beginning. Suddenly, a bright light filled the sky outside. The first one's ships had arrived, massive glowing vessels. Unlike anything built by Thracians or humans, the fleet fell silent. Awestruck, the first one's leader appeared in the command room through a shimmering portal. Tall and radiant, their form seemed made of light itself. We have seen your struggles, the leader said. Your courage and unity have reached us. Eli stepped forward. Will you help us? Our species need guidance. We want to live in peace. The leader's voice was calm but powerful. You carry the legacy of life itself. The blood that flows through you connects many worlds. They turned to the queen. Your people face a choice: hold to old fears, or embrace change and growth. We will watch and offer wisdom. The first ones shared knowledge, advanced science, ways to heal faster, and to live in harmony with the universe. They spoke of the power of unity, and the importance of seeing beyond differences. The Thracians and humans listened, inspired and hopeful. Yet, the leader gave a warning. Beware the shadows within. Fear and pride can destroy even the brightest futures. With the first one's blessing, the Thracian Empire began a new era. Humans and Thracians worked together to rebuild, to explore, and to learn. Eli was offered a place of honor among the Thracians. I am proud to stand with you, he said. Queen Zalitha smiled. Together we will build a future worthy of all our histories. As the story of blood, courage, and unity spread through the stars, one truth remained clear. When worlds come together, even the greatest challenges can be overcome. And sometimes, the smallest gift, a drop of blood, can change everything. The end.